And good morning. It is the morning of the 25th of August, 2023. It's a little after 7 a.m. and I am making my morning coffee, luxury, and my morning oatmeal, which I love as well. And it's a bit dreary out. Expecting some rain and some wind today. Still here in Quissett Harbor, that I've been here all week working. Haven't had a whole lot of time to look around, but did get a chance yesterday to ride my bike into town to West Marine because I needed to pick up supplies for a rather daunting repair on the boat. The port forward lower chain plate, the bulkhead that supports it, the knee brace that supports it, is having some problems, and my friend Peter Allery, who's a professional boatwright, has agreed to help me out. So today's mission is to get the boat from here, some 45 miles or so, back up to Mike Zani's, which is in Portsmouth. That's the mission, and I'm planning to cut work short a little bit today, get the boat ready to go, and be off the hook here by around 1500 hours. Definitely be sailing at night some. Little dicey. It's going to be southerly, so probably a bit of a tight reach. Down Buzzards Bay in what seems to be quite a lot of wind. Right now there's not much, but they're talking about a lot of wind. So little worried about that, but I will reef down accordingly and try and take it easy, especially considering my bulkhead situation. Reason I'm not leaving over the weekend is that there's southwesterlies forecast, which means I'd be beating straight into it, and I don't really want to be beating all the way down there. If I can make it on a fetch or a close reach with the tide, we have an ebb tide later. That seems like the most prudent thing to do. If I gotta spend the night in Third Beach because I don't want to spend the extra hour and a half going up the river in the dark, I'll do that. Not a big deal. But that's the plan. As always, on a travel day, I get a little nervous looking at the weather forecast, getting the boat ready to go, all of those things. You go through your routine so that everything's set and you're not going to have any problems, stuff flying around in the cabin, which I had that problem last time out. I wasn't smart enough to close all the cabinets. So yeah, I'll check back later as I'm getting ready to go and during my passage. Hope it all works out today. It's about 1600 on the 25th, and got off the anchor somewhere after 3 o'clock. It's a little tough getting off. The anchor was really dug in. It took me some time to get that thing up. But I am off, and I am cranking down the Buzzards Bay, doing about 7 knots. A little current against me still, so when that switches, I should pick up speed a little bit. Got a couple of reefs in, and I'm thinking now I should have put a second reef in the main because it's pretty damn windy out here, and I'm not sure when it's gonna subside. It's not that big of a deal. I can just easily furl up the Genoa and come up into the wind with the engine on if I have to put that second reef in. Not a big deal. I'll do it safely. But if I'm going to do it, certainly going to do it before it gets dark. Got a while for that, and actually at the speed that I should be making, I might actually be up into the Sakonnet River by that time. But certainly flying along right here, and batten down the hatches somewhat. It's not a particularly wet ride, but it is windy, and luckily I'm close reaching. For those folks that are saying, well, why the hell did Falzone leave today instead of waiting for the weekend? That weather looks horrible. Well, the simple answer to that is that sometimes you go for wind velocity, sometimes you go for wind direction. And today, one of those cases where, since the wind is southerly or southeast, it made a lot more sense to go today rather than hit it tomorrow when it's going to be blowing 20 plus from the southwest or right on the nose, which would really suck. So I got a tight reach, fairly comfortable. Seas are fairly flat here in the bay. Going to get a little lumpier, obviously, when I get out into the ocean, and when I get out past Cuttyhunk, it's going to get lumpy out there. So if I decide to go for a second reef, it'll be before I get to that spot. So there's the story. It's a good sail. It takes a lot of effort to get things sorted. And once you have the boat sorted and balanced, it sails itself pretty well. So that's what I'm doing, just trying to stay vigilant. There's a couple little obstructions up here that I got to watch out for. And keep my eyes out for other stuff in the water. I'll check back later. It's on in Buzzards Bay today. It's a transit from Quissett Harbor back to Portsmouth. On about 25 right now, and on a close reach, comfortably sailing. Just threw in the second reef, and Genoa is reefed down quite a bit. So it's only getting a little bumpy as I get out towards Cuttyhunk, but the sailing's good. A little rough, but it's good fun. I enjoy the challenge. Making good time. It's 17:39, 5:39, and just passing Cuttyhunk behind me. Got a little bit of current with me now. Whoa. And some really solid breeze. Hoping to get around into the Sakonnet, get around Sakonnet light around 7. Maybe a little after 7, and then it should be smooth sailing. Hoping I can crack off soon. Trying to point up a little bit before I really get into the bigger waves coming from the ocean. But it's definitely on for a boat like this, 25 with some good seaway here, and the boat's balanced nicely. And that's really the name of the game with a boat like this. Is you don't want to beat yourself up. Get the sails reefed properly and just balance the helm out so that it doesn't have to work too hard. You're not burying the rail like I just did there. And try and make it easy on yourself and easy on the boat. Here's the weather view, and it's getting big. Whoa, yeah, starting to bury the bow a little bit. But the boat is just fine in these conditions. Just a little bouncy. And it's otherwise a pleasant day. Well, pleasant by my standards anyway. So that's what I do for fun, as I get whacked in the face with a wave. Thanks for watching. It's always something when you're out here, even when you think you're pretty much all alone. there's a ship there, and he just picked up a pilot, so slowed down some, and I had to come up just to stay away from him, which is fine. It's just what it is, you know. But it's just funny. Sometimes you think you got the whole bay, the whole ocean to yourself, and there's a ship and there's another boat, and they're headed right for you. But once we're safe here, I'll start to crack off, be a lot more comfortable, get towards the mouth of the Saconnet River. "7:30 p.m. as we come into the Saconnet River. We've fallen off quite a bit on a broad reach now. That's Saconnet Light. Down there. And you can see it's much more mellow now. The seas and the wind have subsided, and I decided to shake the reefs out in the main and the Genoa, and we're just coasting along here nicely with the waves, heading up the river. It's a bit of a trip up the river, but it should be pretty easy. Seas should flatten out, and it'll be pretty much dead run up there. Just have to watch the navigational markers. There's it's not terribly tricky, but there's a couple of little areas you got to watch. And it'll be at night, so a little added dimension, situational awareness. And I'm a little tired too. I always have to factor that in. As you get tired, you start to make mistakes. And since it's just me, I got to be even more aware at night when I'm tired. So really good sail, definitely hardcore, but boat handled it well, and it didn't take too long. It wasn't on the nose. Tomorrow is going to be a southwester, strong southwester, so if I was to try and leave tomorrow, it would have been a beat the whole way. It would have been pretty awful, I think. And this wasn't, too bad. It was a fetch, and now I've got a nice run up the river. So looking forward to getting on the mooring and relaxing. Pretty tiring afternoon and evening.